Today we're going to be doing intermediate. I'm going to show you traditional grip and I'm going to show you. This is Clayton Skinner. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Beat. Hello there. My name is Clayton Skinner and welcome to Beyond the Beat. In this episode I'm going to teach you how to do a Herta. Now some people will call it Herta, some people say Herta. I prefer the latter. It's just the way that I was raised, I guess. Now the Herta is actually a hybrid rudiment. Hybrid rudiment is when you combine two different rudiments to create one. Now I was always led or told that it was of a Latin. It was originally a Latin rudiment. But I haven't been able to find anything to back that up. So I'm not going to make that claim. Anyway, just like any other rudiment, the name, onomatopoeia, the name actually is the rudiment. So if you have problems playing the rudiment, just say the name. Herta, Herta, or Herta, Herta. And by saying that name, you'll actually get the rhythm of how this rudiment is supposed to be played. So, first tip. That was your first tip. So beat one, I've written it out how the rudiment is supposed to be written out. By writing it out in triplets, where between the first two notes, you're going to have, in this case, a 16th note directly between it. So it'll be two 16th notes followed by two 8th notes. So the whole thing takes place in kind of a triplet format. So it's actually a syncopated rudiment. Now, originally this rudiment was done with drags, which actually is what makes it a hybrid rudiment. But majority of people are actually playing it as a single stroke pattern, which is how I'm going to teach you in this lesson today. So, the first exercise is just basically you're going to be performing 4 hertas and lining them up with the metronome, lining them up with a quarter note. Now remember, there's lots of different ways that you could do this. You don't necessarily have to do it where you're only playing with one hand. You can actually line it up so that you're playing it with, like say, obviously your right. You can do it with your left. You could do it where you're accenting on different notes. So pick one note out of each note in the rudiment and try accenting it. It doesn't really matter. That changes the actual Herta thing. But, you might as well get used to playing it in different ways. So now I'm going to show you another way of doing this. This is a very popular way of doing it. Is actually by doing it in a 4/3 polyrhythm fashion, while played in a 4/4, so that it carries over, and the whole thing takes about 3 bars to cycle all the way through till you start on beat 1 again. This was made popular by a song by a band called Meshuggah. The song is called Bleed. He's actually doing it with his feet, but we're going to do it with our hands, so that because when you learn with your hands, then you can learn it with your feet. So exercise 2, this is going to be kind of the building blocks. First step in the building blocks to being able to do this. Exercise 2, you're going to see the hertas are performed. There's 4 hertas over 3 beats. And on the 4th beat, there's just going to be a regular run of 16th notes. And you're going to be able to tell the Herta patterns, or where the hertas are, by the 2 32nd notes that lead it off. Remember, it's 2 quick notes, 2 32nds, followed by 2 16ths. And you'll see that it does that 4 times over 3 beats. Ends on the 4 regular 16th notes, and then you'll start it again on beat 1. And there's a reason for this, but anyway, here's a demonstration of this. Now I want you to listen to how I play this, and I want you to listen to how on the 4th pulse, 4th metronome beat, there's the regular 16th notes, which will then carry you into the next bar, and then on beat 1, you're going to start with the hertas again. So listen to what I'm doing, and see if you can follow along. Okay, so now that you've gotten that, you're now going from beat 1 to beat 4. In this exercise, in exercise 3, you're going to be starting the hertas on 2. So the first beat is going to have 4 16th notes, and then on beat 2 you're going to start the hertas. Same thing though. There's going to be 4 hertas over the 3 beats. So you have a 4 over 3. So by the time you get finished the 4th one, you'll stop. Well, you're not really stop, but you'll start with 16th notes again, which will be beat 1. And then start the hertas again on beat 2. So you just keep repeating this process. So it's very similar to the last one. Listen to my demonstration, and remember, try to count along. The second pulse is where you're going to hear the herta start, and then when the beat 1 pulse starts, that's where you'll start with the 16th notes again. So, listen, follow along. Now the last exercise on the PDF is what we've been doing all this for. We're going to put them together. This is basically the same thing that's going on in that Meshuggah song, but he's playing with his feet again. So anyway, the reason that there was only 2 exercises, there's exercise 2 and exercise 3, is because those are really the only 2 scenarios you have to deal with. Once you get those 2 down and you understand how to line them up, it's easy. Because after that, you just basically start it again on the 3rd beat of the 2nd bar, which will then take you all the way to the end of the 3rd bar, and then you just start the pattern over again. So really, it's just making sure that you're able to do 1.5 bars, and then the other 1.5 bars will take you, anyway, to complete the journey. So if you take exercise 2 and you remove the last 4 16th notes on beat 4, and then you take exercise 3 and you remove those first 16th notes, and you put those 2 together, you get a carryover that goes from beat 1 to beat 4, and then starts at beat 4 all the way to beat 3 of the next bar, and then you just keep repeating that process, and you're good. So here's an example of that. First, I'm going to give you an example of me playing the entire 3 bars, and I'm going to stop once it's done, and then I'm going to give you an example of it just continuously looped. I'll probably do it like 2 or 3 times. But either way, listen to the metronome, listen to how the metronome lines up, and then listen to how I line up the metronome. So I hope that wasn't too difficult for you. Again, if you have any problems with this, just make sure that you use the name of the rudiment to guide you along with it. You can actually take the Paul, rather than play it, you can actually take the metronome and just say the rudiment, Herta, 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 Forienda, Herta, 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 Forienda. And you could just use it like that. If not, or whatever, then it's probably a good idea for you to actually go and understand how polyrhythms work. There's lots of videos out there that will teach you how they work. Specifically, you want a 4/3. I should probably have given this to you earlier, but oh well. Anyway, I hope it wasn't too hard for you. Make sure you practice this lots, because it's a good one.